Hi guys, welcome back to another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob, and today I shall be attempting to take this Dinky Singer Gazelle from shabby to shiny. This one is a commission by Robert over in Australia. As you can see, this one has had a little bit of overpainting, I think possibly and probably by hand. This one's got some detailing, kind of some of those chrome areas there, a little bit of black on that rear number plate, but painted in green with a black roof on this one. A little bit grubby in areas, you see those wheels, but heavily played with, but probably heavily loved as well. So Robert from Australia sent it over and said, Rob, can you tidy this one up for me please, mate? And I'll certainly give it a go. But anyway, we'll be drilling down the centre of these posts, 2 on this car, removing those flanges and tapping those holes. Please do remember to lubricate the end of your piece. You do not want to snap it. So rather than racing the car in here today, this old Singer Gazelle deserves some respect, kind of driving it gently. But there we are, having already pre-drilled this one. You can see now, reading underneath, Dinky Toys, Singer Gazelle, made in England, Meccano Limited, and this is number 168. So a bit of grubbiness, bit of dust, and you can see there's some areas of damage on that base which need to be rectified. But for the most part, it's quite a thin piece of metal, so probably do most of it by hand. And these old tyres, a little bit brittle, of course a little bit dry, and if I probably take them off just as they are, I might even break them. But yeah, brushing off a bit of dust there. Reading Gazelle inside the car. And actually you can see here, now I did receive some pictures of this, and I asked Rob, did this have like an interior glass section? And he mentioned that it probably didn't, but then perhaps before his ownership that window section long gone. But after I received it, I knew this certainly did have and needed a glass section here, so I picked this up from modelsupplies.co.uk. Model-supplies is their website. But yeah, as a little treat, we'll be replacing the window section there. But like I mentioned, I don't want to just take the tyres off as it is. Place it into some cool water to start. I didn't want to put it into just boiling water, but we'll add a bit of boiling, so it's probably 50-50. Still very hot to the touch, but you know, you can certainly shove your hand in there. So like I say, still hot, but moving the base out here, knowing that there's enough heat to just make that rubber that little bit malleable for me to safely remove the tyres. I'm going to pop that back in and get all 4 off. By moving on to the foot-long hot dog jar, we'll cover the entire casting in boiling water, and incoming 2 tablespoons of caustic soda. So rather than just dumping it in, kind of gradually drop it into the water there. Instantly you can see all of that overpaint from however many years ago, really coming off, and that caustic soda there really doing its business. Those are the headlights there, and then coming around back you can see that rear bumper, quite the reaction, and it's doing its thing. What I will be doing is placing this base in once it cooled down. But yeah, whilst putting that to one side, I've lightly buffed out and polished this window section, and I'll be giving it the Pledge Revive It floor polish treatment, and try not to lose it in there. But yeah, that'll come out pretty nice. And colours we're going with today, I did ask Robert, and I said to him, you know, do you want to replace the green and black, or do you have any other colours in mind? And he showed me a picture of one which was like a main body of cream, so we go with a majority of white with just a little touch of yellow, and then the kind of like a half section, a little bit of a colour on the bottom half with this like a maroon colour, which is a majority of red with just then a little touch of black, all using the Vallejo Premium airbrush range. I've actually bought some more of those paints, recommended by Danny's Diecast Disasters. We've got some candies and metallics coming up soon. But yeah, so it's probably been 15 minutes or so. That water has cooled off somewhat. Still very hot to the touch, but as you can certainly see, not only is the original paint come off, but of course that over paint as well. And at this point I'm going to dunk in the, and I didn't mean to drop it so violently, but yeah, it slipped out of my hand there. The base kind of getting a couple of minutes as well. But as we can see with the main body here, a lovely little face on there, a lot of detail. Actually that over paint was quite thick. I still actually just need to tidy this up, but yeah, quite thick, that over paint, so a little bit of that detail needs to kind of well, has come back now, and hopefully we can keep it by the final result. I find these Dinky wheels in the caustic solution, well, they really go to town. You know, they cause a lot of oxidization, a lot of bubbles. Perhaps it's the metal type, so it doesn't seem to damage them, and it's polishes up very well. So like I say, look at that, it's pure black. And with just a few seconds of buffing, look at that, looking brand new, beautiful. Same with the rest of this base, that'll polish up very nice. And I'm going to leave this base unpainted. You know, this is going to be a restoration plus attempt today. And I do like a polished base. And giving you a little sample of this roof section, reminding you that there was quite the layer of paint on this, so you couldn't see the condition of the casting underneath, but it turns out that it's quite pitted actually, certainly salvageable, but that needs a little extra work before painting. So I've got a couple of like foam backed emery paper or sandpaper, and you can see actually just against this sandpaper the amount of metal that comes off. But look at that, so much better, so much smoother, and hopefully that any remaining little pits there will be filled in by the primer and then paint. So I go with the black vehicle hobby paint, which actually I run out on this casting, so I've just had to order some more. Great stuff, I would certainly recommend it. I've probably done 20 or more castings. It's not cheap. I think it was around £15 including delivery. But I would honestly say value for money. And that'll dry in a lovely satin finish. But yeah, whilst that is drying to one side, put together the base here, polished it all out, polished all the wheels, the axles, and got those tyres back on, and that is looking brand new. Beautiful. Turning our attention back to this casting now. I went with a couple of coats of black, and it helped fill in any little kind of areas that the sandpaper didn't grab. You know, it's never going to be perfect for me to really make it perfect. I would probably then take out all the detail. So we just work on kind of the larger main areas, try and get them as smooth and as kind of flat looking as possible. But first of all, what I'll do is I'll cover the entire casting in the cream colour, and I went with 3 coats of this cream. And after it had dried, I used my Tamiya masking tape and then masked off the kind of the bonnet, the grille, the roof section, all the A, B and C pillars, the boot, so that I can come back with that maroon on top. Looking at some pictures, I wonder which way to do it around, but certainly this appears to be the correct way. So here we have it, now masked off, and I hit it up with another layer, or a very light layer of that cream, just to try and reduce any kind of bleeding through that masking tape. And you can really see the colour there in that maroon. In the final shot it looks really dark, but it certainly is this maroon colour. And it goes on really easy. But anyway, it is now the following day, so another little look at that base with wheels. And now dry this window section. Probably hasn't been in there for I don't know how long, 20, 30, 40 years perhaps. And then yeah, looking at that maroon on the bottom there, beautiful. But I'm going to add some details, and here's a little reminder of what she looked like. And this is the result. So as you can see, coming around, it sits perfectly. The line there from the masking tape done well. See a little bit of chrome on those door handles. Coming around the back, you've got the chrome rear bumper, some chrome elsewhere, red tail lights, and then painted in that rear number plate just like how it was. And then yeah, coming back down on the other side, of course the door handles again, the glass section there. These cars never had interiors, but they certainly did have that window section. And then coming around to the face of the car, what a handsome chap, chromed out with some white headlights. Rob, I hope you like this one, mate, and I'll be getting this into the post to you soon. But anyway, let me take this opportunity to thank my amazing patrons, and thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you like this one, and I'll see you soon on the next.